All right, I want to start this lesson by giving all glory, honor, and praise to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rekah Kwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles and teachers and wise men of great millstone that unearth this truth from through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Salutations out there to the elect. All right, I want to do a quick lesson. Going into this video I came across, it says, wife charged with murder after telling Shreveport family Army veteran husband committed suicide. So before I play the video, let's start right here with this scripture right here. And that's a lot of these Babylonian women. They're wicked. The average woman that's of the world, that gats abroad, that has a lot of liberty, that's already slept with multiple guys, they're wicked. And you men out here, especially you Israelite men, you need to understand that. Just because she has a big butt and a smile doesn't mean she's worth, getting to know, because she comes with a lot of, spirits if she's of the world. And women are carnal creatures, you see. So let's start right here in the book of Ecclesiasticus 25. Let's read. Let's see. Let's start at verse 13. It says, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, which the word heart goes back to the Hebrew word lob, which means your mind. Give me any plague but the plague of the mind, and give me any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. And as you're going to hear in this video, this woman, she's wicked. So let's play the video.
And it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and a Shreveport family says they are now finding out the death of their brother, which was presented to them as a suicide, was actually a murder. KSLA's Dominique Ben spoke to Army veteran Sean Reed's family about how this revelation has shaken them.
Sean Reeve served 10 years in the United States Army. After he retired from the military, he took a job in Louisville, Kentucky. The 2009 Captain Shreve graduate was living his best life, or so his family thought.
There was nothing in my heart or my mind would ever make me think he did.
In September, Sean's wife, 33-year-old Alicia Reed, formerly of Bossier City, called his family frantically, saying Sean took his own life. Alicia told his family he was devastated by his older brother's murder just a week before in Colorado. But Sean's sisters and brother said something wasn't adding up.
If you knew who Sean was and how much he loved his family, he would have never put us through the hurt again after just losing one brother to take his own life.
The tight-knit family of 5 had survived losing their mother and father at a young age. Sean was just 9 years old at the time when his older sister, Lola Morris, stepped in as Sean's guardian. He called her Mama. The family held a double funeral for the brothers. Sean's wife flew down from Kentucky, and a month after the funeral, the family got a call from a Louisville detective.
He said, "Are you able to talk to me?" I said, "Yes, sir, I am." He said, "I wanted to be the first to tell you before the street started talking. I have formally arrested her for murder. The medical examiner said it was no possible way it was a self-inflicted wound." I told him, I screamed, I said, "I knew it, I knew it, I knew it."
33-year-old Alicia Reed is now behind bars in Louisville, Kentucky, charged with murder, domestic violence.
A lot of times we look for women to be the victim, not seeing that men are also victims or can be victims of domestic violence.
Yes, in this case, he was a victim of a wicked woman. Let's go back to Ecclesiasticus 25. Let's see. Let's read. Let's see. Verse 17, it says, the wickedness of a woman changes her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. And as you can see in the video, let's go back. Look at her face. You see that? It changeth her face and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. You see? That's the face of a guilty woman. You see? All right, let's go back. All right. Verse 18, her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh there bitterly. But in her case, she unalived her husband. It says, all wickedness but is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. And the portion of a sinner did fall upon her. She was charged with murder. So she got the portion of a sinner.
I told him I streamed. I said, I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
33-year-old Alicia Reed is now behind bars in Louisville, Kentucky, charged with murder, domestic violence.
A lot of times we look for women to be the victim, not seeing that men are also victims or can be victims of domestic violence. In this case, it just so happened to be my brother, and we did not know that he was basically suffering in silence.
They take it so serious when it comes to women. But when it comes to men, sometimes it's not as just like, okay, because he's supposed to be stronger and tougher. But he wasn't raised that way. He's never seen anyone get beat on or, you just don't see that. That's not how we are. We're not that type of people.
The brothers and sisters who call themselves the Five Heartbeats with one mic are now faced with the reality of losing two of their family members.
Heartbreaking, tragic. I don't know the words that can describe how we've been kind of just floating and trying to survive through everything that's going on.
Now the family is splitting time traveling to Colorado and Kentucky to get justice for their brothers. In Shreveport, Dominique Ben, KSLA News 12.
Last Saturday, Alicia Reed pleaded not guilty during her arraignment, and right now her bond is set at $500,000.
She pleaded not guilty. That's crazy. Let's get another scripture in the book of Ecclesiastes 7. Let's start at Salakia. Let's start at verse 26. It says, and this is Solomon, you see, because Solomon had a lot of wisdom. You see, Solomon had wisdom of how things operated in the earth and in other, knowledge, because the Lord showed him a lot of things, which spiritually, that was really Yahweh Shai in the reincarnation, who people ignorantly call Jesus, but that was Yahweh Shai. So he had a large amount of wisdom. Let's read verse 7. It says, and I applied my heart, which goes back to the Hebrew word mind. It says, so I applied my mind to know and to search and to seek out wisdom. You see, this is Solomon. And the reason of things. So Solomon, he was a deep thinker. He had a large amount of wisdom. Multitudes upon multitudes of knowledge, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. It says, and to know the wickedness of folly, even of foolishness and madness. Verse 26, it says, and I find more bitter than death the woman whose heart is snares and nets, and her hands as bands. Whosoever pleaseth God shall escape her, but the sinner shall be taken by her. You see, and her husband, he was taken by her. Because let's face it, in all actuality, he was a sinner too. Let's end with this scripture right here. This is verse 23, Ecclesiasticus 26 and 23. He was of the world also. All right, let's see. Verse 23, a wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that fear the Lord. You see, verse 24, it says, a dishonest woman contendeth shame, but a honest woman will reverence her husband. And she didn't reverence her husband, you see. That's why she unalived him. She was a dishonest woman, and she brought shame upon her whole family by killing her husband. So what are her kids going to think of her? They're going to think of her as being a monster. And that's the result of dealing with a wicked woman, Jake. That's the result of dealing with a wicked woman, Jake, you Israelites out there, stay away from these wicked women. You see, if you can't get along, stay away. You see, just put her away. I'm not saying, to cause her to commit adultery, but get some distance. You see, don't put her away to cause her to commit adultery, but just see if you can fix the situation. But just get distance from her until the situation is resolved. But if the situation can't be resolved, then hey, you just have to live in separate households. But I would rather, let's get this. Let's see with this scripture. Let's see how stop. I would rather, let's see. It says Proverbs 21:9. It says, "It is better to dwell in the corner of an housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house." You see, which means what? It's better to get away from that woman. You see, because it's better for the family for you two to be separate if you can't get along with each other. Verse Proverbs 25:24, it says, "It is better to dwell in the corner of an housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house." You see? Same scripture. All right. All right, so I'll end the lesson here. All praises to Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua Bahashim Rekak Wadash. Shalom.